Hey there, this is your 30-minute recovery Pilates exercise for the days that you're not strength training. So this is going to look more like lengthening, stretching, mobilizing. We're also going to incorporate some core work along with some shoulders and back today, and maybe a little bit of arms. So let's get to it. First thing, we're going to start with our feet straddled, finding our sit bones. Arms are going to lift over our head. I want you to take a deep breath into the nose. Feel your ribs expanding on all sides. Draw your shoulder blades down the back, and then you're going to start to round forward, and you're going to reach your hands towards the floor, letting your head kind of drop deeper, feeling your inner thighs stretching, and then take another breath in through your mid-back and start to rebuild the spine. Restacking nice and slow. From here, take your arms into goalpost. You're going to pull your elbows back. You're going to tilt your chest, finding your extension. And then arms will return over your head, and you're going to round back down through your legs, getting that spinal mobility. Breathing into the inner thighs and hips. Should maybe feel a little tight there. Maybe shake out tension in your head. Yes and no. And then you'll rock to your sit bones. You'll find those lower abdominals as you restack slowly. One more time, you'll take your arms into your goalpost. You'll pull the elbows back. You'll tilt your chest to the ceiling. And then you'll return down. We're going to put it on one red spring, making sure that our bar is at its middle setting. You're going to place your left foot onto the bar with your right foot on the floor. And we're going to start Eve's lunge. So you're going to go down, squaring off your hips, really pulling that right sit bone back, and find a little tuck of your tail. And right now you should feel that left hip flexor. And you're hugging again the lower abdominals, not just collapsing into the joints. We're just going to go up and down with these pulses as we're feeling that length through our hip. In through the nose, out the mouth is the breath. Good, let's do that a couple more times for 3, 2, and 1. Now I want you to round your spine as you close the carriage. This right knee will be a little soft. You're creating that crescent moon shape. You're feeling some opening of your lumbar spine. And then you're going to come back into Eve's lunge, lifting the head, the chest. Exhale, round to close. Inhale, bend, knee over the ankle, lift. The back of your left heel is on the shoulder block as you move through these reps. Let's go 2 more times. Again, goal here is to feel that left hip lengthening and to get us into a little bit of thoracic extension. And let's do that one more time. You're going to hang out one more time in this little position of pulsing the carriage back and forth. In through the nose, out the mouth. You're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and then round the spine to close. From there, you're going to walk around to the front of your carriage. You're going to walk your legs back. Let's just take a pike, gently pulling on the foot bar, maybe rounding the spine a little bit. Maybe bending one knee and then the other, getting that deep stretch of the back of the legs. Pulling on the lats. And then we're going to go ahead and slowly roll yourself up to standing. And then you're going to come to the other side, bringing your right knee to the carriage, left foot on the floor. Square both hips. I always like when I'm working by myself to take my hands onto my hip bones, making sure they're both square forward. Hands come to the bar. Back of the heel to the block. You're going to bend your front knee and now opening that right hip flexor. You're going to go inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. We're just going to pulse here to deepen the stretch of the right hip. And again, the heavier your tailbone is, not really trying to squeeze your butt here, but just think pubic bone up. You'll get a little more stretch to the right quad, right hip. You'll be here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now you're going to round the spine to close the carriage. We'll just kind of go for flow. Push away from the foot bar, lift the heart. Exhale, close the carriage. Feel your lower abs on. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do that 3 more times. We're stabilized through the shoulder the whole time. We want to feel that full ribcage breath every time we take an inhale. Let's do it 1 more time, and then you're going to hold the pulse. Up an inch, down an inch. For 4, 3, 2, and close the carriage. Now we'll go ahead and walk back to the front of the machine. Let's take it to a foot bar that's at the low setting. And for our spring tension here, let's go to a blue spring. You're going to take your hands to the edge of your carriage, trying to find your flat back. And then you're going to start to push your carriage out to get a lot of stretch in those hamstrings. And then you can round your spine to close the carriage. Come back into a flat back neutral. And then you're going to push the carriage out over your head. Looking down at the springs, you're going to round, curl the tail, find that flexion. And then come into neutral flat back. Press it out. Inhale. Curl the tail, exhale. Good. Let's do it 1 more time. Neutral spine. Should feel that yummy length in those hamstrings. Dropping your heart towards the spring well. And then from your tailbone, curling to pull the carriage in. Now you'll come back to neutral. And then we're going to come into our extension this time. So you're going to push the carriage out over your head, and then I want you to lift your chest, find your little cow. So if you need to bend your knees because you're really tight in those hamstrings, do that, but you're arching your back here. And then from there, you're going to start to push your carriage out, elongate, and lengthen. And then let's go ahead and lift back up into our extension. Carriage closes, wide sit bones. 2 more, over your head, get the length in the legs. Lift, extend, and 1 last time you're going to press out. You're going to inhale, lift, extend. Now you'll come to your neutral spine. Your right foot's going to come more center of the foot bar. Your left leg's going to reach back, and what we're going to do is push the carriage out, and I want you to let that left leg lift behind you. Square your shoulders a bit, and we're going to go into this little arabesque where we bend the left knee, opening that left hip further. Hold it there and breathe for 3, 2, 1. You'll kick the leg out again. You'll lower the leg, re-square your pelvis as the carriage closes. We're going to kick it out again, lift, and then bend the knee. Now on this one, I want you to look underneath your left shoulder, just getting a little rotation into it. And then return into your square body. Let your left foot lower. Let's do that on the other side. Left foot comes to the floor, right foot back. You're going to push the carriage over your head. You're going to float the leg. You're going to, on this round, try to square your chest. Left knee's bent, right leg's extending back. Now you'll bend that right knee, and we're going to just hold it here and let that right hip really open up. Sending breath into the right hip. And then you're going to go ahead and kick out. You're going to re-square your body. Close the carriage 1 last time with a different version. Push the carriage over your head. Now look under your right armpit as you extend that left leg. And then bend that extend the right leg. And then bend your right knee, opening that hip, looking under the right armpit. And then you'll re-square your right hip. You'll close the carriage. And then from there, we're going to roll ourselves all the way up to standing, letting our head lift last. Awesome job. You can put your foot bars back to that middle setting, and then we are going to come down onto our backs, and we'll do a 2 red, 1 blue spring. We're going to come onto our backs here. And you're going to take your toes onto the bar. Headrest can be up or down. I do have a bun on the back of my head, so it's a little awkward here on the headrest. But from here, I'm going to take my toes and really spread them on the foot bar. And I want you to press the carriage out, and you're going to lower one heel, then lift and lower and lift. So you should feel your calves getting a little two-way stretch and strengthen. So we're breathing in through the nose and out the mouth. We won't be here too long because today is not about the lower body, more about that stretch, mobility, alignment, posture, core, maybe a little bit of arms. So the next time your left heel comes onto the bar, you're going to hold it there and just kind of pulse the carriage, getting that stretch in that left calf. And then switch, right heel under. And then lift both heels up and close your carriage. Now you'll take your feet wide on the bar. Arms are going to come off the side. And I want you to fold your knees to the right, turn your head to the left, and add a little tiny tuck of your tailbone so you're not in low back compression. Should feel like your left leg is reaching out into the distance. Try to keep your left shoulder down. And let's go ahead and bring the knees over to the left. I want you to turn your head to the right, but remember we're keeping a little tuck of our tail. We're keeping our lower abdominals slightly braced. Right shoulder is anchored down. Take a breath. Good, and then let's come to center. One more time each side, knees to the right. You're gonna turn your head to the left. Left shoulder heavy. And then switch, left knee, knees to the left, head to the right. Take an inhale. And then bring it back to center. You're going to take your knees, pull them to your chest, rock a little side to side. All right, now we're going to get the headrest flat. Arms are going to be by your side. You're going to start to curl your tail and lift off into your first bridge. When we do our bridges, and again, I have a bun, so it may look like my head's a little awkward here, but we want our pubic bone in alignment with our sternum, our toes pointing forward. We're going to take a full 360 breath here, and we're going to melt the spine. Let's drop the upper back first, middle back, lower back, and tailbone. You're getting that mobility through your spine. And again, inhale, lift, peel the spine. For some reason, if that doesn't feel good, just come into a neutral flat back to roll up and roll down. I really want you to do the articulated version though, because again, this is about mobility today. Arching your back when you come down. So we want to see that there's a little gap between our low back and the carriage. And then we're going to think pubic bone up, lightly imprinting into the carriage, standing into the foot bar, lifting up, taking an inhale, and then exhale. Find those lower abdominals as you roll the spine down. Let's do that one more time. Arching your low back, find extension, take it to flexion. Inhale, full cycle of the rib cage breath. And then from there, we're going to roll it down. Good. Once you come all the way down, we're going to lift one more time, and then we're going to do some pelvic rotation. So you're going to rotate your pelvis to the right, meaning your left hip is higher than your right hip. And then you're going to switch left hip lower, right hip higher. And then go right hip, feeling that pelvic rotation. And then go left hip down, right hip down, left hip down. Next time your pubic bone points to the right, your right hip is down, I want you to roll down the right side of your spine, slow and control. And then re-square your body off. You're re-squaring your pelvis. You're going to lift back up, and you're going to rotate pelvis to the left, and we're going to roll down the left side of our spine, feeling that mobility down the left. Feels really good. And then let's do it one more time on each side. You're going to lift back up into a neutral glute bridge. Rotate your pelvis to the right. Take an inhale. Roll down the right side of your spine. come to neutral, re-square it off, lift, rotate, inhale, exhale, roll down the left side. And then you'll just pull your knees to your chest, you'll rock it out. All right, you're gonna roll off to one side. We are going to be taking our spring tension to, let's do a either red and a blue or 2 red springs. And this is gonna be for our shoulders and back, so postural work. So the 2 red is heavier, the red and blue is lighter. You're gonna go ahead and lie down on your back again, and you're gonna grab a hold of those straps. You're gonna reach your arms, either long or short loops. So if it gets to be too heavy for you, feel free to just go to the long straps, and then the short loops are more challenging. I'm gonna use the long straps because my straps are really tight today, but I'm gonna float my legs to tabletop, and then I'm gonna lower my arms down and shrug my shoulders. So arms are down, shoulders are shrugged out of my ears. I wanna see that the back of my shoulder is pressing down into the carriage. My knees are over my hips. And then from there, I'm gonna inhale, breathe into my mid-back. Exhale, pull down, make sure the back of the shoulder is down. You're shining your armpits to the ceiling. That's another way to think about it. And then inhale, lift. Exhale, hold and press. So we want this to feel heavyish, not super, super light, because again, it's postural work. It's our upper back muscles, our serratus, our posterior deltoid, our latissimus. And lower, good. And inhale, lift. Keep shining your armpits. Keep pressing those arms down. Let's go for 3. Exhale, lower for 2. And exhale, lower it on 1. Now flip your palms to face your body. You're gonna open your arms slightly forward, and then like in a kind of a wide V, and then you're gonna press the arms back towards the midline of the body. Inhale out, exhale in. Option to extend one leg at a time. Just keep your foot high if you feel this getting into your back. So every time you sweep the arms in, you're extending one leg. I want you to engage under your armpits here as you're pressing into the sides of your body. Armpits are active. You're shrugging those shoulders to feel your upper mid back. Let's do that one more on each leg. And then rest for a second. So if that didn't feel challenging enough for you, you probably have too light of spring on. So you would just need to do that next time, or do it over again, rewind, and do it with a little bit of heavier spring. So I have on 2 reds, felt pretty challenging for me. You're gonna reach your arms back up, legs come into table, make a fist with your hands, circle the arms down and around, back to start. We're gonna go 5 in each direction. 2, we wanna get the back of the shoulder down. 3, 4, and 5. We're gonna go opposite direction for 1, 2, 3, 4, and last one, 5. Great. Let's hang up the straps. We'll go ahead and take our springs to a different setting. We're gonna go ahead and let's do 1 red spring. This is gonna be for ab curls. So I'm choosing 1 red for me. I like to do my ab curls on the lighter side, but if you prefer a red and a blue or a green spring, feel free to do that. Sometimes it gets too much into our neck when we do curling. So this is not about the neck, shoulders, or the trapezius. This is about your abdominals. So let's go ahead, and if you have a ball, feel free to grab it. Feel free to not, you don't have to use it, but it is an option. You're gonna put the ball between your ankles. We're gonna grab a hold of the straps. You're gonna reach your arms up to the ceiling. Make sure you're away from your shoulder blocks. Now we are gonna go into the hundreds, and I am probably gonna just count differently than you're used to, just because it's challenging to do while teaching. but your legs come up, your arms lift. You're going to inhale, you're going to lower down, exhale. Now we can start here, just pumping the arms in through the nose, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I want you to squeeze into the ball on every exhale. Feel free to extend the legs and turn those knees and toes out for the full hundreds. And the lower you take those legs, the more challenging it's going to be. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Curl a ½ inch higher. You should be able to see your foot bars. So if you can't, may need to go back to this tabletop position until you can find that bigger lift through the chest. We've got 3 more. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep reaching through those fingers. Last 2. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're squeezing our ball. One more time. Exhale. And lower down. Go ahead and drop the ball to the floor. Bring your arms back into that reach. Legs into table. Inhale to start. Curl your head and your chest. Send your right leg out. And then your left leg out. And switch. And switch. This is your single leg stretch. Taking those slow, deep inhales. Exhales. We want to not feel it in our neck. We want to be pressing through our thoracic spine for 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. We're going to come into our double leg stretch. Arms lift, legs to tabletop. Take an inhale, curl your head and your chest. Send both legs out, and then curl higher as you pull both knees in. Lower your head, return the arms to tabletop, and the legs to tabletop. Curl up, extend. Curl higher, pull the knees in. Lower the head, return the arms. 3 more. Exhale. Inhale. Lower down. Reset. 2 more. Last one here. And down. Good job. All right. We're going to go ahead and come on up. We're going to take it into one glute spring. I'm going to have you come on to your hands and your knees here. And this is going to be our kneeling abdominals facing back. So you've got your hands slightly in front of the shoulders, your hips over your knees, and you're going to look down at the floor, pushing away from the floor. Now, my toes are gripping my carriage. I'm going to round my spine and push down as the carriage goes back, and then inhale as it goes back to the bumper. Exhale, I want to use my lower abs to pull. Inhale, return. Here's 3. Exhale, pull for 2. Last one here. Nice. Now we're going to go ahead and take this ball again. We're going to put the ball at the headrest. Headrest can lift. And then what I'm going to do is take my hands back to the base. And then I'm going to take my right thigh and lay it sideways on the ball. And then I'm going to re-square my chest. So we're kind of doing the same kind of rotating the pelvis like we did with arabesque, but we're squaring our shoulders, which was the same thing we did in arabesque. So you're going to round your spine as you pull the carriage in, and you're going to feel your right oblique, hopefully. So you're going to round and pull, and then you're letting your thigh rest to the ball. And round and pull. And 2 more. And 1 more. And then let's go to the other side. You're going to go ahead and switch, taking your left outer thigh to the ball. We're going to go ahead and round to pull in, letting our outer left thigh rest to the ball. Our knees are sandwiched together. Our feet are side by side. Last 3. Left oblique is what you should be feeling. Last two. And then take one more here. Nice job. Let's go ahead and sit into a quick child's pose. Letting your chest drop, your head drop to the headrest, and breathe into that mid back and into the hips and into the lower back. Now from here, we're going to come off. You're going to put your ball to the floor. We're going to get our short box on. Now I have on a blue spring. You can go to a red spring if you would like. We're going to work a little bit of postural work now. So you're going to bring your crease of your hip on the edge of your box. You're going to look at the risers ahead of you and bring your toes on the edge of the platform. You're going to go ahead and pull yourself forward, grabbing onto the risers here. Your feet can like hang out on the floor like this, or you can crisscross your ankles, but you're going to bend your elbows, pull the elbows all the way to the box, and then I want you to tilt your chest to the ceiling so you're finding extension. And then you're going to return and look down at your headrest. Inhale, pull. This is the arm work I was talking about, but we're also working our extension. We're mobilizing. We're also working our back muscles. So you should feel as you go through these reps, you should feel that mid-back connection, the latissimus, turned on, working. And again, if it's too light, you're just going to heavy your springs up to where it does feel like a challenge. Let's go 4 more. 3, 2, and last one here. And then you're going to carefully climb it back. Okay. Now you're going to go ahead and have a seat on top of your box. We're going to take our hands to the bar and we're going to press ourselves back into a pike position. And then from here, we're going to pike up, finding our lower abs to pike. And I'm going to go heels together, toes apart. And then I'm going to inhale, look over my bar. And then I'm going to exhale, round and pike it in. This is planking to work the core. We're also working shoulders back, arms through the plank. Zipping up through center, exhale, round. We don't want our shoulders to go over our wrists. Let's go 2 more here. Exhale. Inhale. Last one, exhale, lift, and then hold it there. Hold it out, holding 5, 4, 3, 2, and then go out and in a little bit for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Little stretch for the hamstrings. Your feet are going to go flat. You're going to round your spine. You're going to do biceps by your ears. You're going to press the carriage back and then pike the hips to close, or round the hips to close. And you'll feel that length in your hamstrings. Keep looking at your springs. Little inner thigh engagement, but this should feel really good after all the strength training to get that length through the backs of those legs. Let's go 2 more. And the last one here. All right, and then I want you to just have a seat crossing your left foot over your right foot. You're going to hinge forward, keeping your flat back. Feeling that left hip, piriformis. And hang out here as long as you need to, but for the time, I'd like you to at least hold a minute. We're going to switch it out to the other side, holding at least a minute. Taking a breath in and a breath out. Good. And then we'll go ahead and come into a long box position for our pulling straps. You're going to feel free to lower your foot bar, but for the sake of time, I'm gonna just keep my legs over the bar. I'm gonna grab a hold of my straps here and I'm gonna look down with my nose in alignment with my headrest. I'm gonna start to pull my ropes back, lift into my swan. I haven't changed from a blue spring, by the way, but feel free to go to a red spring or a green spring if you need to. And lift, we wanna feel our back lifting, that thoracic spine as we hold. And then we wanna return it back down. Think about the tip of your pubic bone staying down so that it doesn't come too much out of your low back, but we want to feel our upper back extending. We want no neck wrinkles forming, and we're using our lats to pull. One more time. And then we're going to swim it out, holding our extension here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and hang up your straps. Feel free to hang on the box like this if it feels okay for your body. And it's nice to have our tailbone lengthening down, our arms dangling. Getting ourselves in the opposite of compression in our low back. And feel free to stay here all day, letting tension go out of the head, the neck. But that's going to be it for our 30-minute core stretch and mobility class. Hope you have a good day. Thanks so much.